Hey there, guys. Another short video on basically how to increase your bench press and a few, tips that I could possibly pass on and advice. So, um, Obviously stick to the basics and don't overcomplicate it. For me, I'm a big fan of 4 sets of 10, and then sort of as you progress further along in your strength journey, you'll probably end up dropping it down to 2 sets of 10 for your top working sets. You got to remember, bench press, it's a movement. There's different ways of working all the muscles involved, especially your shoulders and triceps. 4 sets of 10 works well. As I said, for me, I do 2 sets of 10 and then 2 sets of 5 as back off technique work. Regardless, if you're doing the 4 sets of 10, still add on, a set or two of technique work, which should be much, much easier. When you go into your heavy pressing session, the advantage of finishing on technique work is, your body's going to move better. It's going to remember the last sort of thing that you did. So if you leave, the movement with good, clean, fast reps, good movement pattern intact, it will carry over greatly to your heavier session. Then for me, I obviously put in a overhead movement. For me, this could be barbell overhead press. Now that I have a log to play around with, I'll probably do some log press. Otherwise, it's the single one arm dumbbell shoulder press. I like to alternate them. Again, for me, sort of 2 sets works well, and then I'll do a slightly different, lighter overhead movement. Again, I like to keep the reps sort of on the 10 plus side. I don't see any point in going really heavy with shoulders. They just seem to be a joint that for a lot of people gets injured quite easily. And then again, in powerlifting, 1 rep max overhead is not something we can test. And you'll find there's not a lot of powerlifters that do a lot of overhead work anyway. And then lastly would be a quality back movement. So for me, I prefer to do the neutral grip pull-ups. When I sort of look at things, I got one exercise for pressing right in front of me. I have another pulling movement to work back, and then I have an overhead movement. So it's sort of, a 1-to-1 ratio all sort of round, especially when it comes to my primary heavy movements. The other thing I'd definitely consider doing and adding in if you guys are stuck, front squats, 4 sets of 10. You're going to gain a fair bit of upper back strength in general, muscle mass in general, which is going to help in a number of ways. But, training legs, biggest muscle groups in the body, they're going to help you produce the most amount of muscle building hormones, keeping it in layman's terms. And that's going to help drive further upper body progress. And then at the end of the day, you also want to have a pretty even physique, not just in terms of aesthetics, but just having a balanced physique overall is going to lead to less injuries. So for me, there's obviously 3 main upper body movements followed by a heavy lower body movement. Typical split for me at the moment is bench press and then front squats, day 1. Day 2, I'll try and do my overhead and back work. This week's been a little bit different. Wednesday I did my bench press and then the squats. Thursday I did a bit of overhead work. I did a set of barbell overhead press, and then I played around with the new log that I got. And then today's Friday. So for back, I just did 10 sets of 10 of neutral grip pull-ups. I think my best set of neutral grip pull-ups was a set of 24. So 10, it's not too hard at all. And I try and, keep the break times to 2 to 3 minutes. Towards the end, I obviously had to push the break times out because I just, ran out of energy. But that's pretty normal. And then the rest of the week, I'm just going to play around with the stones for general conditioning because I get a mixture of both. One, if I'm doing the loaded carries, a lot of upper back, mid back, lower back has to play a role in stabilizing. Throwing a lighter stone over the yoke, shoulder work again, triceps, chest. I'll probably do 2 or 3 sets of 10 at maybe 140, so a lot lighter compared to the 180. And then probably 200 or so push-ups and just break that up into 10 sets of 20. Considering my best, set, I can do a set of 50 quite comfortably. Doing 10 sets of 20 should be quite, comfortable. And I'm not going to try and get them all done in one hit either. I'll probably break them up along with the stone carries and some of the overhead yoke, activities as well. So the volume will get there. Then again, that also helps with the recovery. So that's pretty much it for me. No comps as far as I'm aware. Live obviously in Australia, Victoria, so stuck in lockdown 6.0, quite over it, getting very frustrated. Doing night shift as well at the moment. This week and next week is really quite easy, so I'm going to have heaps of time to train, and I'm going to put, as much effort into that as I can while, allowing enough for recovery. That's pretty much it, guys. Sorry I wasn't, more coherent in terms of video structure. But if you guys have any questions that you want answered, or you're stuck with, specific plateaus, or you've been stuck at a certain weight, send me or drop me a comment. Do my best to get back to you. You never know, I might even put it into video format. Other than that, guys, until next time, stay well, stay strong, and yeah, until I make another video.